the one question that I love to ask is, what is one thing that only you and God know? That is the one thing that you get to look at, you get to heal from, you get to expose it, you get to talk about it. Because once you can do that, that's when the self-worth comes. That's when the self-love comes. That's when the prosperity comes.
Well, hello there, obedient rebel. Welcome to another episode of The Prosperity Approach. I am your obedient rebel in residence, Allyson Chavez. Super excited to have you here. We're going to have a really different kind of conversation today, but a critical kind of conversation today. One that's going to be massively inspiring to you, very, very healing to you, and fill you with a whole bunch of relief. That's my intention for you today with our incredible expert and a dear friend that I have on and the pleasure of having on today. Before I introduce you to the fabulous Jill E. Schultz, though, if you have not already done so, if you would please subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, rate and review on the podcasting platforms, help us with the algorithm. I've got a goal to get to 10,000 subscribers in the next 90 days, and I can't do it without you. Like literally, I need you. And in exchange for that, not only will you get my massive gratitude, I am going to send you fantastic, fantastic energy in which you can eat a brownie and you will have the energy of like a carrot. How about that? But don't eat the whole pan of brownies because it's only good for one. So there you go. Energy is magical and it's real. So thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. But really, I will send you some really great energy. So I don't usually read people's bios with this, but this bio really, really touched me with its thoughtfulness and also with its impact. And so I asked Jill if I could read it, and she said, well, that's why I sent it to you. And I'm like, well, okay, but I still wanted to make sure it was all okay. So let me tell you a little bit about Jill E. Schultz. She's an international best-selling author and motivational speaker. She is transforming conversations about childhood trauma and secrets. Jill was molested as a small child, and she vulnerably shares her story of shame that resulted in her innocently and curiously experimenting with other children when she was just a child herself. By turning whispers of shame into resilience, Jill empowers individuals to embrace authenticity and live hopeful, prosperous lives. Her unique approach creates unprecedented change, offering a path to freedom for anyone burdened by secrets or shame. Through her powerful message, Jill inspires a global movement, encouraging individuals to live courageously and rewrite their stories with love and abundance. Jill, what an honor, what a privilege to have you on the show today. Thank you.
Allyson, I adore you so much. You and I have only been friends for a month.
It's not been very long, but we were
all right,
sisters.
So girl crush, so obsessed with you. You seriously made a massive impact on my life already, and I'm going to give you kudos as we go through this interview. But thank you for having me on.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. And you know what? When we met, and you have just been very open about your experience, we've always been, and for good reason, we always focus on the victims of childhood trauma and the things that create shame. But we very rarely realize that the perpetrators have had trauma themselves and didn't even know. And so I was actually really touched when you shared your story with me, because I thought, you are so brave. You are so courageous. And I never for one moment thought, this is a terrible person. I'd never felt that at all. I just wanted to take you in my arms and just be like, oh my gosh, honey, I love you. I love you so much. And so here's the first question I have for you. How are self-worth and prosperity directly related?
Before you ask that, sorry, we need to come up with a better word for perpetrator. I mean, when I hear the word perpetrator, I see an adult male who's preying on younger children. And when I was acting out, I was in between the ages of 7 and 12. And to put that in context, for a long time, I thought of myself as an adult, as a 12-year-old child. And that was one of the first breakthroughs that I had with one of my therapists. He's like, who do you know that's 12 years old? And I thought of my niece, and he said, do you think she thinks like an adult? Do you think she acts like an adult? Do you think she reasons like an adult? And it was the first time that I gave myself a little relief and a little bit of self-love that, oh my God, I was a little girl, and I was only doing what somebody else taught me to do. That's what children do. They repeat behaviors. Little kids do not know to go out and have sex. They don't know anything about sex, but somebody taught me to do that. And let's be honest, it feels good. And so you are going to repeat that. And so I really think we need to come, and this is nothing on you, Allyson, but I think we need to come up with a better word than perpetrator for little kids.
You know what? I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree with you on that, because from 7 till 12, no, you didn't know what you were doing. You didn't know.
Oh, who do you know that's 12 years old, Allyson? Like right now, who can you think of that's 12 years old?
I have a nephew.
And what's that?
And I'm just laughing because I'm thinking about him as an adult, and no, like
he's a little kid, and he's just like, he doesn't even know how to get through life at this point, He
can't grow his own hair yet. Yeah. So, and so I really do appreciate right from the get-go changing the context with that.
Well, and I thank you for saying that from the very beginning. You just wanted to love me anyway, because honestly, I don't anymore. I don't see that anger or that. And oh God, this is such a long conversation. Like I told you, we're going to be on this call for 4 hours.
We'll break it up into parts if we have to. Well, it's a conversation worth having.
Yeah. And I don't know how deep we want to go into this, but I know that I have coined the phrase age dysmorphia, because remember when you were little, say that you were 5, 6, 7, and you were around a 12-year-old, you're like, oh my God, they're so old. Remember when you were little, you would think that? Even a kid that was a couple years older than you. So I'm not trying to take away from anybody's pain who's been in my shoes, or anybody's pain who's been hurt by somebody else. But I feel like there has to come a place where there can be a little bit of compassion if somebody did act out with you when they were a little child. And I know I'm really driving in a nail right now, probably to some people, but these little kids don't know what they're doing. So if somebody hurt you, if you were 5, 6, 7, 8, even 9, 10, and somebody that was 12 or whatever hurt you, please understand that they were just a little child themselves. They were just a little kid themselves. They didn't have the reasoning to think this is wrong. This is wrong. I'm sorry. I've never said that in an interview before. So.
Well, I appreciate that. It definitely needs to be said. I mean, especially with the climate that we're in right now, with society trying to adultify children and definitely trying to, not even trying, but sexualizing children and confusing children about even their identity to their core. Like this is a conversation that needs to happen, that children are not small little mini adults. They are not. They are nothing like an adult, and we need to remember that, both, if you have been hurt and if you were the one who was, like you would say, acting out. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So okay, you didn't know what you were doing because like you didn't have that concept. It was somebody taught you that. Did it have an effect on your self-worth and on your self-esteem?
I'm sorry. It affected me. I didn't love myself until I was 51 years old. So yes, this had a massive impact on me and my self-worth. And the areas that it showed up for in my life is interesting. What we're working on right now, I'm doing some work with Allyson. And if you have not had the opportunity to be in her world, get in it as quickly as possible, because I'm having major life shifts right now. But until I was 51 years old, I wasn't connecting with men in the right way. I was always feeling imposter syndrome and feeling like I couldn't have that level of success that I truly innately know inside of my soul that I get to have. So it had a massive impact on my self-worth and my self-love and all self-confidence, all of those things, which is why I'm talking about it, because and trust me, this is the last thing that I ever wanted to be the poster child for. When God asked me to step into this, I was like, Oh, hell no. No, I'm not, no. And finally, I softened to the idea and I'm like, this is why I'm here. Like, this is my purpose in life. It's to show people that number one, you get to talk about it because shame can't live in the light. And for the longest time, I thought the minute that I said my story out loud, somebody was going to think the things that I was thinking of myself, that I was a monster and a pedophile. And the level of love and kindness and compassion and understanding on the other side of me vulnerably sharing those things can still bring me to tears. Like, I need people to know that, number one, you're not alone. And that's why I wrote the book, because I thought, if I had had a book like this when I was younger, my life would be different. So I wanted to write the book to let people know, if this is your story, and trust me, people, it is so common. My story is so common. So many little kids who have been hurt act out with other kids. It's just what they do. And so I wanted to be that example for people to say, wow, if she can talk about it and she can get past it. And your secret could be totally different. Allyson, the first time you and I met,
I was just thinking about that.
yeah, the question that I love to ask is, because your secrets may not have anything to do with trauma like mine. My therapist calls mine next level trauma, which isn't it fun that I can giggle about it right now? Because 4 years ago, I'd be sobbing, but because I've said it so many times, it's lost its power over me. But the one question that I love to ask is, what is one thing that only you and God know? Because that has impact. And people in the transformational world may not have as deep an impact with that because they've done a lot of the work. But if you find people that are struggling and really trying to, move their life forward, and they don't want to be a victim anymore, they want to take responsibility for their life, and that question gets asked, it's like, oh. And so I challenge any of you, when I said that question, that is the one thing that you get to look at, you get to heal from, you get to expose it, you get to talk about it. Because once you can do that, that's when the self-worth comes. That's when the self-love comes. That's when the prosperity comes. That's when that magical man walks through the door, because you know that you deserve to have that.
Oh, that is beautiful. This is the question that's been running through my brain. And so I'm asking it on behalf of somebody. So this happened to you. You didn't know what you were doing. You were parroting that. Why and how did it affect your self-love and your self-worth then? If it's not like you were like, let me go see if I can hurt another human. It was done in innocence. But why did it have such a deep, deep impact on your self-love and self-worth, do you think?
Well, for two reasons. I'm going to say this first, because as you get older, you start to understand. And you start to realize what I did was wrong. I remember the first time that it really hit me. I was watching Oprah and she was talking about little kids being molested. And I was like, oh my God, I did that. It was a remembering, because the other thing is, when I was 12 years old, I got caught. An adult caught me with another child. And that adult said to me, little kids who do that go to hell. And I have cleaned that up with that adult. There was no manual. I'm 57 years old. So this was, I don't even do math. How many years ago was that? That's a long freaking time ago. There was no manual to prepare the adult for what was on the other side of that closet door, And so I have long since forgiven that adult for saying that. But that leaves an imprint, like, oh my God, I'm going to hell. But even if you don't have somebody that you got caught or whatever, as you get older, you start to realize, oh, that was wrong. I did something bad. And you also, I think, take on the responsibility of the perpetrator, the person who hurt you, And I think God has had this, well, obviously, I don't know how woo-woo you want to get here, but the more that I get into my personal development, the more that I am open to the idea that I chose this path before I even came to this earth, because I knew I would get to have an impact. That's a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow. So if you're not there yet, that's okay. But whether or not you believe that, I know that God had this as my plan from very young, because as I got older, I was very quick to forgive the person who hurt me. I always had a level of compassion for the person who hurt me because I knew whoever hurt me, somebody hurt them.
Mhm.
So it was easy for me to get past that and forgive that in somebody else. I just went off on a tangent. I don't know even where I was going.
No, I think that's absolutely beautiful. And I actually do subscribe to that love, to that belief as well, that we choose our path, that we choose our challenges and our trials, because those are the ones that are going to be the most poignant for us and help us grow and impact others and bless other people's lives so much.
I just laugh because I'm like, what in the hell was
You're like, what line did I get in? Like, yeah, sign me up for that one.
And I grew up Catholic, so all my viewpoints are changing as I get more and more into my beliefs and my relationship with God, and whether or not you believe in reincarnation. If you do, I'm like, all right, God, this is it. I'm done. This is it. All right, let's move on.
Oh, yeah, I hear that. I hear that. And and the older I get, the more, and this is a little tangential as well, but somebody needs to hear this because I've talked to a lot of people who have been church hurt, like our good friend Lisa Williams likes to say church hurt. And I don't know of anybody who hasn't experienced some sort of hurt within whatever religion they are. But particularly a lot of Catholics that I have talked to, carrying so much guilt around. And as I've gotten older, and I've certainly had my fair share of guilt, I've realized, man, I don't want to be converted to my church so much as I want to be converted to Christ. And because I don't think my church is going to heal me, but Christ is going to heal me, and God is going to heal me. And that's actually been very, very healthy for me to start looking at it that way instead of the shame, because religion tends to have a whole lot of guilt and a whole lot of shame, regardless of affiliation.
Right. We've got,
take your pick. They're all the same.
Who is right? Like, I think everybody's right. Like,
I think everybody has part of truth. I agree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And we can get into a whole theological and religious conversation on another episode. but I do believe there are pieces of truth in every religion. But I really appreciate you bringing to light, like, why you struggled with that. Because it's like, oh, well, I didn't know better, but it did definitely have an impact. So how did it impact, like, how are self-worth and prosperity connected? And are they?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. If you don't feel like you're worthy of having happiness and freedom and joy, and I didn't, to the core of my soul, I guess I always had this knowing that I deserved it, but because I had so much self-loathing, and it was self-loathing, which was how I felt about myself. How can you feel like you deserve to have happy things in life? And it's so funny too, because I believe a lot of my friends are like, I had no idea that you suffered like this. And it's like, yeah, because we become really, really good actors, and I was a really good actor for a really long time. But innately, I felt like I needed to be punished for what I had done. And when you feel that type of self-loathing, then how can you step into, oh my God, I get to have love. I get to have joy. I get to have freedom. I get to have prosperity in my life. So it's critical. That's another reason I wrote the book. Like, I just want people to know you have to get to the core of that. Like, you can have success and you can have good things in your life, but you're not going to have that complete, total freedom until you can look at whatever it is, that one secret that only you and God know, and you can let it go and you can forgive yourself for it. Because you're always going to, I call it my shame cloud. That's why the book is called Liberated, Releasing the Dark Cloud of Shame, because I would wake up in the morning and I'd just have this oppressive shame cloud follow me around every day. I'd wake up, it was there. I'd go to sleep, it was there. Guess what? My cloud's gone. My cloud's gone. And I look for it. I mean, I lived with that cloud for, 41 years. Cloud's gone. And now all that gets to come in is love and light and abundance and joy and freedom,
And I really appreciate you saying this, because prosperity and self-worth and self-love are definitely connected. But Jill's not been like homeless her whole life. She hasn't been, like on the streets. Jill, you are wicked smart. You are smart as a whip. You have run multiple successful companies all at the same time. You're a serial entrepreneur. But I think that is just so fascinating that prosperity and money aren't the same thing. That you can have to your point, I'm a really good actor and I've got the stuff, but I still woke up with this oppressive cloud of shame all the time.
Well, and you can still, I think when people look at me from the outside, they're like, wow, she's got it all together. She's got to be home. She's run these businesses. And yes, but that has been my energetic minimum. My energetic minimum where I want to be is way more than what I have. And that's been my ceiling. Wow. That's the first time that was just my aha moment.
Wow. Yes.
See?
I felt that too. Holy cow.
Yeah. Yeah. So I get to raise and that's what the work that we're doing right now, Allyson, is helping me to raise my energetic minimum to call in what I really deeply know in my soul that I get to have. And it's so much more than what I have now. So much more.
Yeah. It's beyond imagination. It's amazing. Okay. You said something a few minutes ago that really stuck out to me. You were talking about we need to get to the core. We've got to get to the core. Otherwise we can't get rid of the shame cloud. So is there a question or something that we can ask ourselves to get to the core of where we struggle with our self-worth? And
I think it's that one question. It's the one question. What is one thing only you and God know? Because that's one thing that you're so ashamed of. I mean, that's the only question that I know to ask. Do you have a different thought?
Where did you go? Like, you ask that question, what's the one thing that only you and God know? Yeah. And then you just the answer comes and then you just look at it.
Well, mine immediately was, oh my God, I acted out with little kids. Oh my God. I was a naughty little girl. I'm a bad girl. I don't deserve to be happy. All I felt was that self-punishment that I felt like I deserved. So your answer is going to be different than mine. If you may have my same answer. And if you do, I feel you. Like I so deeply feel you in my heart.
That's why you need to get her book.
Well, that's why, please get my book. And I'm giving it away. I've never given away my book before, ever. And I'm giving away a free digital copy today on the show. But whether or not you get my book, find somebody to talk to. On my website, jilleschultz.com, and you can see it. I guess this is also a podcast, so you'll have all the show notes and stuff.
Yep, you'll have the links in the show notes too.
jilleschultz.com. I have a get help link, and there's a lot of anonymous resources on there. So if you're terrified to say whatever it is out loud, you can call one of these anonymous resources and say it out loud, or write it down. Look in the mirror, scream it in a pillow. I don't care how you do it. One time, get it out of your body, because once you do it one time, it's going to get easier and easier and easier. And it's work. This is not for the faint of heart, people. I'm sorry. It took me a long time to get to this place, and I'm still grinding. There's always a next layer to that onion. But you're worth doing the work to heal. Do you want to continue to be in this place of self-loathing and punishment? And your secret might be you cheated on a spouse. Your secret might be you embezzled money. I don't know what that is. Clean it the F up, because on the other side of that, it's so magical. It's so magical.
It's true. It's true. There's a saying that you cannot sink so low or go so dark that the light of Christ cannot find you and can't illuminate you. And when you let go of that, when you let go of that shame, and it no longer holds you hostage, it is quite a feeling.
Yeah,
quite a feeling. I remember, and we all have our own shame degrees, right? So something that to my girlfriend is no big deal would be devastating to me, and vice versa. That's why we have, our trials and our challenges that are tailor-made for us to help us grow and bless our lives and other people's lives. But I remember before the bankruptcy, that my whole identity was in my perfect credit score. And I had so much pride in that credit score. And who would I be without that credit score? And there's also like all this shame around bankruptcy, right? Where it's just like, oh, we crawled out from under it, or we never recovered, like all of this stuff, and don't say anything. And I talked to people that were like, our children don't even know, because there's just so much pain involved. And I remember thinking, does there have to be, though? Does there have to be shame around that? I was doing the best I could with the knowledge I had and my level of worth at the time as well. It's not like I set out to rip people off or not be able to pay my bills, but I went through my own shame cycle and my own shame cloud with that as well, until I was like, actually, I need to talk about this so that it doesn't have its hooks in me anymore, and to let people know. And people are like, wow, because my biggest fear was similar to yours. Like, you thought people would see you as a monster and a pedophile and all those things. And I thought people would be like, well, then why the hell are you teaching prosperity? You filed bankruptcy? Like, what? Get off the stage, girl.
I
thought that I would lose
teaching prosperity.
Yeah. Right? You don't have to do bankruptcy as a matter of course to be prosperous, but it sure was a blessing.
You've had the experience too, so you can empathize with people with what it feels like to be financially in a state of shame,
Yes.
That's why.
Yes. And I think a lot of people are in a financial state of shame. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we can't be prosperous when we're in shame. We can't.
No. Yeah. So all the things that are coming out of my mouth right now are God. Like, I love it when God starts to talk.
I know, me too.
Isn't it fun when, like, you've been living in this story for so long? Like, I was a pedophile and a monster. And when that therapist said to me, there's always a different way to look at it. The way that you're looking at it, the way that you're stuck in it, the way that you are living in that spiral of shame is not the only way to look at it. And so when you can have that light bulb moment, or when you can be talking to somebody and all of a sudden you see it from a different perspective, when the therapist said to me, who do you know that's 12 years old? And I was like, oh my God, I was a little girl. And it was this huge light bulb moment. I promise you, whatever your secret is, whatever your story is, whatever BS, I swear I'm holding it back for you, Allyson.
I know you're censoring yourself. I'm holding it back.
Yeah, because I swear, like a truck driver. Whatever BS you're telling yourself, like, you're not the only one, number one. People think that they're the only ones in their pain. And I like to glibly say now, you're not special. I promise you, you're not the only person who's living with whatever shame you're living with right now. And once you can say it out loud and start talking about it, you can start getting perspective from other people and like, oh my God, I didn't think of it that way, or I didn't think of it that way. So what would you say now I'm interviewing you. Now, what would you say with your bankruptcy and all of that? Like, when was your light bulb moment, and what did that look like for you when you were able to finally be like, oh, I'm not a bad person, or, oh, it happened because of this, or what was if you care to share?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. I've never actually shared this before. So I've jokingly told people we were in a financial free fall for 2.5 years. And so I was doing everything that I could to hang on and make the minimum payments, but we were just getting deeper and deeper and deeper with all of that. And it was desperate. And so I'm a really good actor as well. And so I'm, acting like everything is fantastic, but I'm asking people, like, when they're being vulnerable with me and like, oh, we're looking at bankruptcy. And I'm like, oh, tell me about that. But there was one woman who said it was actually such a huge relief And I wish I would have done it sooner. And it was such a blessing. And I refuse to feel shame over it. And she unconsciously gave me permission to make it a blessing in my life as well. And she said I had a fantastic bankruptcy lawyer who was so kind and who was so helpful with everything. And she connected us, and he was fantastic. And sorry, he's retired now, everybody. So if anybody's having a struggle, I can't send you to Lou Adams, but man, he was fabulous.
Oh.
And like, it was having that permission where she was like, yes, yeah, this happened. I made some poor choices. I could finally be honest and be like, I did not follow my intuition. I knew right from the very beginning my intuition was telling me no, but I didn't have enough self-confidence to hurt somebody else's feelings. Like, I bankrupted my company of my family because I didn't want to hurt some rando's feelings. But I can be really compassionate with myself because I really was doing the best I could with the knowledge and the level of love I had for myself at that time. And now it's much, much easier for me to be like, nah, that's not aligned. Nah. And if it hurts somebody else's feelings, and that's theirs, not mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But thank you. That was a beautiful question.
Yeah. No. Well, because people need to hear that. Like, everybody's sitting in their pain and their shame and their, you're in this cesspool of bleh. And just go talk to somebody about it. And you'll be surprised the empathy that you're going to get from somebody else, or the advice, a way out. Like, stop sitting in your filth. The dark cloud of shame, liberated, releasing the dark cloud of shame. I see like Pigpen swirling in just all of his dirt, Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Do you want to be in this pain forever? Like, there is another way. There's another way. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a better way, and it's an easier way. I mean, there's work, but it's not nearly as heavy as the shame cloud that carried you around for decades. Is that fair for me to say?
I would say that it was kind of like ripping off the Band-Aid. So when I finally got to that place where I was like, okay, this is what I get to heal from right now, there was a short period of deep pain because I was going through it. And you have to go through it. But once I got on the other side of that, I'll tell you what, I would go through that pain every single day to get on the other side. I would do it all over again to get on the side, knowing what I know on the other side.
I think that gives people so much hope. And I'm just going to make some suppositions here. So definitely jump in and correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm wondering if one of the reasons why you were willing to go through the pain was that you started separating the story from the sensation of the pain, of what was causing all of the shame.
I don't know if I was advanced enough to make that distinction at the time.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. So you just let yourself swirl in it for however long you needed to swirl in it, and then like move through the other side of that?
So my swirling, and I'm glad you're bringing this part up too, because I believe that there are different ways to heal now. There's so many different ways to heal.
I agree.
Please do not sit on a therapist's couch for 20 years. It is not serving you. It is not serving you. And I saw 3 therapists throughout my healing time. I did landmark education, and I started therapy at the same time when I was 33. And that was the first time that I said it out loud. And then I did therapy for like 4 or 5 years, and I was healed, of course. And then I went back because I was bulimic until I was 41 years old because of my sexual trauma. And I was like, you need to get this under control or you're going to die. So I went back to therapy, and that's when I had the beautiful aha moment of, wow, I was a little girl, And then I did hardcore leadership. And I know we have leadership, and everybody should do leadership. I don't care if you have trauma or no trauma in your life. Everybody should do leadership. It is the biggest gift you will ever do for yourself. But when I started leadership, the first day I cried the whole day in breakthrough. And I knew it was because, okay, it's time. It's time right now. This is our chance to heal from this. So I think that that was probably the most painful time in my life because I was really entrenched in it all and really looking at it. And I was exposing it in front of 100 other people. And by the way, I believe healing comes way more quickly when you can do it in a group than if you're doing it on your own, because you have support, you have the Me Too's, you have, oh my God, that was my story too. And all of a sudden you're like, wow, I've been living with this my whole life and it's not just me. So I think that that was the most painful part of it because I was in it and really looking at it. And that's when I was like, okay, now it's time to let it go. Did that answer your question? I feel like I talked for like 30 minutes.
I think that was beautiful. That was a beautiful explanation of that, because it's like, you know what, whatever I have to do, if I have to hang upside down until I get a nosebleed and then I'll get through this, like, fine. Like, what do I need to do? Do I need to tell people about it? Do I need to, like, when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change, that's when you'll change. And unfortunately, we've been conditioned to just live in that pain and live in that secret and live in that shame and have it have so much power over you. I mean, why do you think blackmail is so freaking effective? It's because somebody has a secret that does not want to share the secret. And it's a horrible secret. I remember years and years ago, Glenn Beck was talking about being, I think he was a cocaine addict. He was an alcoholic. He was a cocaine addict. And then he got cleaned up and started sharing his story. And then people, nefarious people, were like, well, we're going to tell people that you were a cocaine addict if you don't do this, that, and the other. And he was like, I've already told them. Yeah. Like, do your best.
Yeah.
Like, they had nothing on him anymore. And just, we want the shame to have nothing on us anymore.
You get to be brave. You get to be courageous. You get to look at whatever it is, grab the bull by the horns and say, you don't own me anymore.
Yeah.
You get to move through it. And, I want to kind of just circle back a little bit to the therapy part. I believe that there are wonderful therapists out there, and I believe therapy has a place. I still see mine on occasion, but there are so many other ways now. Like, find somebody that's going to lead you through it in a quick way, because it really is more about changing how you feel about yourself than keeping going back to that story over and over and over and reliving it. You get to create new brain pathways of, okay, yeah, this happened, but that's not who I am. This is who I am. Like, there's so many new ways to heal. So please, please, please find somebody that's going to help you get through it quickly. I have a girlfriend who's a therapist and she's magical. And if you want her information, you're going to email me for the book. You can email me and I'll send you to her, because she gets people through real quick. Like, they'll talk to her for maybe a month and they're like, okay, great. And then maybe a month later, they'll do a checkup call or whatever. Like, please don't sit. Well, that's a bold exaggeration. However,
well, still though, that's, even if it's a year, it's less than a decade. So, like, that's fantastic. So, Jill, for those who are listening to this podcast, what is your email address so that they can email you for the book and also make that connection with that therapist if that's something that they want to do?
Yes. So my email is jill@jilleschultz.com. And that's how it's listed. When she's giving you the free link for the book, that's the link that's in there. It's the jill@jilleschultz.com. So just put book or put therapist. I will connect you. And if she's booked out, she knows other people too that can help, but
okay.
Please, please, please find somebody that can get you through it quicker. Because especially once you get to the point where you're like, okay, it's time. The last thing you want to do is be in it another 20 years, really.
Yeah, exactly. Like, aren't we finished with this blah, blah, blah? It's like, come on. We're done. We're done. So, Jill, I have to say thank you so much for lots of things. First of all, for sharing your story and sharing your perspective and your healing journey. Also for giving resources to people, being willing to make connections. And you wrote a book that's going to be so healing for so many people. It already has been healing for so many people. And being willing to share that. Like, guys, she's not kidding. She's never shared. She's never just like given her book away before. before. So I'm super, super excited about it.
Yeah.
So definitely go over to Jill at jilleschultz.com. Just shoot her an email, put book in the subject line or therapist in the subject line, and she will hook you up, because I'll tell you what, this woman has a heart of gold. A heart of gold. And she is here to make a global impact, which you already are doing. And it is my absolute honor and pleasure to be your friend and to be able to text you.
Oh, blessed. I know. I have her on speed dial.
Likewise. Well, Jill, we could talk about this for hours and hours and hours. I need to have you on again. I would love to have you back again if you're open to that. And we can continue this conversation or have some other fun conversations as well around your healing journey and different ways that you can heal and get out from under that shame. So thank you for being here. Those of you who joined in either via YouTube or your podcasting platform, thank you. It's time to have those conversations. I saw that right there, Jill. Yeah. What do you need to say?
Well, I want people to know what a powerhouse you are. And Allyson also is going to take you to the next level with the work that she's doing. So I'm working with her right now. So please, please, please find your way to her, enroll in whatever she's doing, because she is magic.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I adore you. I appreciate that. And look at that. God loves us all so much. He answers our prayers, and most of the time he answers it through other people. So, Jill, thank you for being an answer to so many people's prayers. I'm so grateful I could be an answer to your prayer. You are definitely an answer to mine. And we're in this together.
Girl crush.
That's right. That's right. Hashtag girl crush.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. And remember, prosperity becomes you, and you get to own it. We'll see you soon.